Okay, so let's have a look at the verify age element included in the OctoMono bundle. We will start by adding the OctoMono app on our page. You can add it wherever you want actually. You can add it on a hidden page, on the top, at the bottom, wherever you need. This element will allow you to access your settings and your previously saved styles. So let's head over to the dashboard. And we will click in verify age, and then you can see we have here this element that will pop up before users will have access to your page. So first of all, you get all your styling options here, where you can add a background image. You can also choose to use your own path. Same for the logo. You can upload your logo if you want. You can change those texts how you would like to have them. You can change font size, color, and so on. You can include another additional info box if you want, where you can include some more text, which can also be styled, and the same for some footer notes. You can also specify the text, of course, of those buttons, and so on. There is also an option to style the box itself, and you can style the background, select if you want some box shadow and things on. And then you also have a valid age message that will appear briefly just before user get shown your website. And there's also another message when a visitor has clicked the underage button, as well as a link where they should be redirected to once they click the underage button. So there's also 3 or rather 4 options actually, where you can have a left panel, center box as we have by default, a center panel, and then a right panel. We're going to stick to the center box. It's a default option. Differently from other OctoMono elements, this one will actually have to be added manually inside of your header code box. The reason for this being is that it will load much faster on your page, so you won't have any quick preview of your actual website and then show this message. No, this message will be shown before. So to do so, it's really easy actually. You just click on the, once you made all your styles, you click on the Get My Code button, and then you can see your codes are appearing here. You can just click the highlight all the code, and then when you're on Mac, you can click Command plus C, or on PC Control plus C, or you can do right mouse click and then simply press the copy button here. So once you have that and everything is styled, make sure to click the save button before heading back to the Weebly editor. And then you will see that we have a placeholder here, which will only be visible on the Weebly side, where it says OctoMono age verify settings. So there's 2 options actually of adding the age verify box to your page. It depends on how you want to use it. If you want to use it for your entire page, then the best option would be to go to the settings, SEO, and then look for the header code box that you can see here. And then simply paste in what you have previously copied from your styles. So then when you click the save button and you publish your site, so then we will go to that site, and you can see that there is actually our pop-up is showing up before, or our age verify box is showing up before a user will get access where they need to verify. So, and if they're underage and you click, you will see that text that we're talking about, and they will get redirected to a link where you want. If you go back, let's refresh again. So then you can see that if we would click over 21, you simply have this box showing, and then users will have access to your site. If you would like to test these various times, because we are using obviously a local storage item for this, which will allow the visitor that once has verified this age to not require to verify it each time, because that unfortunately that user is not going to get any younger, on the opposite. So you can actually remove that specific local settings item if you click right box, and then you will do inspect, for example, to access the developer tools. I'm showing this right here in Google Chrome, so if you're using another browser, it will be very similar, but this is Google Chrome here. So then we would click on application here in this settings box, and then you can see here on the left where it says local storage, session storage. So we click on local storage and on your website link, and then you can see actually the local storage that has been set. We'll just eliminate them all by clicking on this delete icon here, or you can go to this and then right click and then you can click on delete. We'll delete them all. And then when you refresh, you can see that it's appearing again. So now when you click that you're over 21, you will see that your key will be visible here. So if you now before deleting that, obviously if you refresh that page, a visitor will not have to verify that anymore. So what we're going to do is we're going to delete it again, refresh, and then you see that it's becoming visible again. Okay, so now let's go back. So maybe you want to make some changes to what you previously done. You want to change a button, some text, some styles, or whatever. That's why you need to keep accessing this specific element. So when we click on the dashboard, you will see that all your styles will be preserved and all the text, and you can start changing your all your things again. You can see that there is an option to add a background image. You can see that actually it is not becoming visible now. This is because we are using an overlay, this overlay color, and it can be used both in combination. If you do not want any overlay at all and you want your image, then you would just move the opacity slider all the way to the left. But you can combine it and you can create a maybe nicer effect, and then you just move this and you can obviously change the color. So we could do something like that. If for example you have some image yourself, so let's say for example we'll take this image, you can right click on it and then you can click the copy image address option. Why am I saying this? Because there is also an option, rather than hosting it on our end, that you will just grab it probably from your site, an image, and then you would have to use your own path. You can see that now there is nothing appearing, but we have a new box that says link to image. So then we would paste in that link, and then you see that it becomes visible. Do make sure that when you paste in this image, it needs to become visible here in the OctoMono dashboard. If it's not visible, then it's not going to work. So when you change this back, you get this, and your path will remain like this. The same will go for your image, for your logo rather. So by default, we have here a logo. You can upload your own logo by using here the browse option, but you can also use your own path. So for example, let's say I included, let's say we're over 21 again. I included a dummy logo here. Let's close this. And then you could also right click here, and again you can copy the image address. So we copy the image address and say, okay, we're going to use our own path, and we'll paste it in. So now when you paste it in, you can see that it becomes visible here at the top. Again, if it's not visible, then there's probably an issue with your link. So then you need to make sure that you double check that if that is a valid link. I also suggest never using any image paths to websites that you're not that are not yours, because obviously images can change and then you can have unwanted effects where your image all of a sudden appears. So neither for background images and logos, you should be using images that you're not that you don't have control over. So now that we made those changes, you cannot simply save these things. You need to get your updated code. So again, you would need to click this thing, highlight everything again, copy it all, and then click the save button, because we're going to need to click the save button. So everything will be the same as we left it before, as we left it right now. Go back to our editor. Go to these settings, and then we would need to replace this. But in this case, we're just going to simply delete it and click the save button at the bottom. and we're going to go to the build, because now we're going to have a look at how to add it simply to a specific page or specific pages. So you would click on the pages tab here, and then we'll go and check for another page. So let's call it Weebly apps, and then we'll scroll down and we click on settings. So now we would need to put it in the header code as well, which is here at the bottom, and we'll just drop everything in here. So if now we were to publish this, we would need to get rid of our key. So let's make sure that everything is deleted here in applications under local storage, and then we will refresh. This being our home page, you see that there is no box asking anymore for our site, because we only added it to this page. So now when we should access this page, we should have that box again asking us for permission to show our age. And here you can see that our updated box is coming back. Another thing to keep in mind as well, the same with that you always, I know it can be sometimes of a hassle, maybe that you need to update that pasted in code, but it is much better and much faster. We could include it, but it would have delays on the page, and also we would have to link it to our server. And in this case, for example, it is directly hosted on your page. There is not going to be any delay at all. The script doesn't have to wait for make a request and wait for all the codes to enter. So the next thing I wanted to show as well is that when you do delete this element, you're not going to be able to access those anymore. But let's delete the element and publish again and refresh our page here. You can see that our box is still visible. The reason, of course, is because we manually pasted in those codes. So if we go back into the SEO settings, on the correct page that needs to be, Weebly apps, SEO settings, and then you can see that our code remains here. So in order for it to stop working, we would need to remove all those codes. So now when we publish, and refresh the page, it should just load fine without anything asking us. So those are the two options. Do keep in mind that you will need to manually paste in the codes each time you make some changes to styles or whatever. And that's about it. I think it's really easy to use after you know how to use it, obviously. There's also some tutorial you can access directly by in the dashboard itself of the element. So let's have a quick look. So now you see that we removed it from the page. It's not going to have our previously styled. This is just a default style. So if you click the get code and then how to use the code, you get it written out here as well. All the steps you need to take in order to have this working on your page. So I hope this helps. If you have any issues, you can always reach out. Thank you.